We are talking about the Anonymous Sudan. Who are the Anonymous Sudan?
Many people think they are people from Sudan. I beg to differ.
Anonymous Sudan is just it's a hacker group of which they have nothing to bind them with Sudan as a country.
Hello and welcome back to the Crimeshield Podcast, where we keep it security every day. And today we've been hearing about Anonymous Sudan, hacktivists. That has been the trend. So to help me deep dive into that topic is my very long-term friend Neville. Neville, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. What about you?
I'm well. Watu wamekuwa kiulizia hii mambo ya cyber attack. M-Pesa ilienda sijui Kenya Ports Airport Authority.
Mambo ni mingi nini na nini. Actually this week tumekuwa tukipata a lot of challenges regarding with the services zinakuwa zinapotea. Most of the public services na tunadhani tunafaa kupata they are very essential actually to us, tunakuta tunazikosa. And these are services that are online, right? This is the technology that we are using, and we are looking at technology being something that is very effective, very efficient. So it creates a lot of question, why should we miss a service that we think it's very crucial, essential, and it's also something that is need to be reliable, right? So this is where now cyber attacks come in. Maybe you guys will want to understand what a cyber attacks are.
So we're talking about the cyberspace, and probably just ambia mafans wetu who you are, what you do. Mimi vile nilikuwa naongea na wewe nikasikia SOC. For those people who don't know SOC, see SOCs, so you can tell them more about it, so that we know, as we are getting into this conversation, tuelewe the cyberspace and what is it.
Thank you so much, my brother Kingsley. So guys, I'm Chenge Neville, that's my official name. By profession I'm a security analyst, so you can call me a SOC analyst. You might be wondering, Kingsley amesema si SOC. It's a SOC. SOC, that means the Security Operation Center. Basically it's our work to ensure that the system are well maintained, the system are safe and prevented from hackers. Na nimekuwa nikipata a lot of DMs and a lot of calls. Neville, we always see you we always see you with the cyber security every now and then. Kwa nini country saizi tunakosa services? And I think it's very important even us having this discussion kwa podcast, because I think security is not my personal initiative. Security is our initiative of everyone as a whole, right? That's why we are trying to educate guys into cybersecurity, just to let people know that they should be cyber aware. And I think some other attacks inatupata kama maybe the whole community is not ready. A few people might be ready, yes, but now you find that the whole community is not ready. Why am I saying they are not ready? They are not ready because they are not aware. Some people don't know even what is happening. And I think with this attack imefanya most of the people will learn one of the terms in cybersecurity, of which that's the DDOS Attack. Because we are talking about the Anonymous Sudan. Who are the Anonymous Sudan?
Many people think they are people from Sudan. I beg to differ. Probably can shed a light on that.
Anonymous Sudan is just it's a hacker group of which they have nothing to bind them with Sudan as a country.
It's just a name, right?
Sudan is just our neighbors here.
And our good friends.
And people might start thinking, okay, why are Sudan targeting us and so on, So we don't have that beef with Sudan or anything. So guys, don't hate on Sudan. Don't think that Sudan are doing something bad to us. This is just a name, Like Money has chose to have Nairobi in their character,
as a character.
Nairobi is not even a Kenyan. So these threat actors decided to call them, and they decided to call themselves Anonymous Sudan. And we are seeing out of their trail of attacks, what they are doing most is they are doing the DDoS attack majorly.
Yeah.
And looking at the pattern of the attack, we feel that they are mostly religious. It's just like a religious group based kind of attack.
Okay.
Also, most of the things that they're attacking are either the government facilities, that is government systems. We are looking that they are targeting the most crucial part, that is the health sector. Yeah, we are looking that they are targeting the airports. They are targeting financial institution.
Wow.
So far, it's not like they are stealing anything from them.
Just causing a lot of slowing in
and
kind of like slowing the
that's now what we call the DDoS. So I'll just let people know what DDoS is. DDoS is just acronym or a brief. It's a word that in full it means distributed denial of service attack. So in DDoS you don't see the A for attack, but now it's an attack. So we are calling it distributed denial of service attack. But we also have a DOS without the D. So the DOS, it's the denial of service. So mostly guys complaining they can't transact, they can't access other facilities that we are used to do with our phones, with our internet. That's a denial of service.
And I've seen, just to break it down, as you brought it earlier, majorly in the cyberspace, as a SOC analyst, majorly there are three things that you look at. The triads of security, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In this DDoS attack, what was compromised? Is it the confidentiality, is it the integrity, or is it the availability of the data?
So when we are looking at cybersecurity, actually the CIA triad is like the backbone in cybersecurity, because you find most of the things revolve around the CIA triad. Whether if it's an attack happening, it's gonna compromise either availability of service, it's gonna compromise maybe the integrity, and also confidentiality. What are things that we feel are confidential? Some of your data are confidential. Okay, most of your data are confidential, right? If a system that you feel like holds your data has been compromised in any way, let alone your data has been stolen, just a system that holds your data gets compromised, what comes to you? Like, you start feeling there is an aspect
you're vulnerable
of, you see there is a breach in confidentiality, right? Also in this kind of attack, most affected parties now the availability, because availability of service is very crucial. And you'll figure out that once we don't have service available, organization end up losing a lot of money, because
every second counts.
The other organization that when they are down for 10 minutes, they lose millions. A lot of money.
Which comes down to even how, the governance of these organizations. We're looking at the SLAs, or the terms and conditions, parties and partners in, there are many angles that pretty much work hand in hand in order to accomplish a certain task. Like if it is the banking system, there is you, the client of the bank, and there is the teller, and then there is now the system behind, just making sure that your finances are in order. There's a lot of chains, and they usually say that the weakest link is usually the human. And there are things, talking about the weakest link, there are things that individuals can do just to make themselves better prepared. When they are susceptible to cyber attacks. It doesn't have to be in that big magnitude. But now you can advise us as individuals. You're transacting from your phone and you pretty much just want to accomplish your mission of probably sorting out your bills or sending money to your loved ones, and you're connecting your bank to the telco provider and then now to the end receiver. So take us through that life cycle and what could happen between you sending and the other person receiving.
You see, technology is something that is becoming very advanced.
Okay.
Yeah, it's growing very fast, and it being an advanced in its advanced form, you figure out that it simplifies a lot of things. As humans, the things that we could struggle doing, we no longer do them
Yeah.
because of the help of technology. And now this is where now a lot of vulnerabilities are.
Okay.
And the very first point that I'll always mention is users need to be aware. Yeah, we call it user training. Yeah, user awareness training.
Okay.
So for user awareness training is something that if it's a banking sector, we have talked of different entities.
Yeah.
Do you know entities in a banking sector in terms of security? It starts even from with the moment you step at the entrance, be it the gate
Yeah.
to the final. Everyone that is within that scope, regardless of whatever profession you are taking, yeah, you might be the manager, or you might be the least of the employees, but security can be compromised because of you.
Yeah.
Why? You require the awareness training.
Yeah.
You need to know what are the things that I can do to ensure that I safeguard this infrastructure, to ensure that I'm not the weakest link.
So everybody has a role to play.
Everybody has a role to play, and just maybe to educate a few, because maybe some are wondering, why are we calling human beings the weakest link?
Yeah.
Systems being more advanced, as I've mentioned, you'll figure out that it's easy to customize them, it's easy to harden their security postures and all that.
Yeah.
But for a human being, the best way you can do it is to let them be aware of what's happening.
Okay.
First of all, they need to understand attacks. Today, after this podcast, you will be understanding the term DDoS attack.
Yeah.
So you understand what a DDoS attack is. Think of any other attack. So most attacks that target human, we call them the phishing attack.
Okay.
You figure out that the phishing attack mostly end up stealing credentials from you. It's just like someone throwing a hook at a fish and then it fishes out. So that means there is something good that you are trying to
Yeah.
be.
It's like they're putting a bait.
Yeah, it's a bait. They're giving you something good that you'll fall victim of. And a lot of these things are happening, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not aware of certain patterns or some certain things, you'll end up falling a trap of it. And even if you are aware of some certain pattern, we need to have the aspect of zero trust.
Okay.
There's something known as zero trust, right? Zero trust asks us to ensure that we need to validate something. We need to be sure about something.
Yeah.
Because you figure out that hackers, at some point, they come and I pretend to be you.
So the aspect of authenticity.
Oh yeah, I come and
comes
tell someone who is very close to you. This can be a friend, it can be a spouse, and I'm like, yeah, this is me. This is me. I am Kingsley.
Yeah.
And since it's a digital space and you really don't see me, maybe I'm even impersonating you. I'm using your profile picture.
Yeah.
I'm having a number similar to yours, or I've even taken over your account, and I'm now trying to take other accounts.
Well, we've seen Neville. Sorry to cut you short. We've seen instances, close friends of mine, and even family have been victim.
Yeah.
Whereby you find that somebody disguises themselves by using a number, and then put the profile picture of a person in your contact that you know.
Yeah.
Then starts calling out for help and saying that they are stuck.
For money,
asking for money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that is the phishing tactic they can use.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know this person, only that you haven't just verified whether that is indeed the number of that person.
The authenticity of it's not
Yeah.
there, because if you trust someone too much, and I'm like, this is Kingsley, I see my phone, oh, Kingsley, you want what? You want something, you want my ID, you want money, you want something else. It's more to money, you want something. Kingsley has asked me to send him a code. Yeah, I give you a code because I know this is Kingsley. Have I verified that it's you?
Probably not.
Yeah, I've not verified. So you figure out that's how guys have end up losing maybe their social media accounts, losing their finances, losing a lot more, and it end up affecting them their well-being, right?
Okay.
Yeah, in one way or another, if cyber attack will always affect you. If you are compromised in one way, it's great. It has a great impact to your life, and I think the best way is just to ensure that you try and learn as much as possible. I I think thank you for having this podcast because I'm sure guys will be having a lot to learn even
And if they have questions,
forward.
you can just put them down on the comments.
Yeah.
So that we can be able to highlight more and more.
Yeah.
Talking about individuals, you've exhausted on the fact that your account can be cloned.
Yeah.
You know, somebody can come and purport to be you, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
And in some instances, you find that somebody can, you know, the phishing emails, they send you a malicious link.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it directs you. So advise us on how best we can protect individuals before we go to the enterprises. As individuals, what can we do to make ourselves hard targets with respect to this kind of attacks?
Yeah, another thing I'll add towards some of the prevention techniques toward this kind of attack is ensure that you have more than one layer of security, right? Yeah, just having one layer of security is very risky because even in your house, if you only have one door, when someone kicks the door down, you're done. Yeah. I've gotten to so many entrants, and I think some you'll see that there is first door, there is second door, there is even more than one locks. Yeah. Even normally, you guys here in Kenya, you'll figure out that you have what do we call the locks
Latches.
in your door. Yeah. You have like the first one, the second one, the other one down, right? That's almost 3 levels of security. If someone can't check them both easily, or maybe
it will take them more time
before they go to the third one. At least you can be aware something is happening. So just to explain it now in technological world, do you just have one password? Okay, do you have just a password, or what do you have more to a password? Yeah. Yeah, because there is various authentication methods. You can be having biometrics just to strengthen the security. We can be having password. Okay, let's narrow down. Maybe it's your social media account. Most guys have heard of things such as the two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, whereby we are looking at more modes of authentication. Apart from you just entering a password, you will be required to have a code. A code should be sent to a trusted phone number, and maybe if not just a code, it can be a code can also be sent to email. Or what do we know apart from just the password? At some point you'll figure out that you're logging into a site, it asks you for a password. Once you enter the password, it has something like a security question, and even the system needs to verify that it's you. Sometimes you'll see there is the it will give you something like,
so it sends you an email or a code, right?
So for people, they might be very lazy to do that, and they feel like, okay, I don't want all this process, but it's very necessary, because if someone gets your password, they may end up taking over your account. So at least have something more than that, just to ensure that it's not directly. Also, don't stay with something for long. Your security measures, like it's a password. How long should you have a password? How much are you using this password? The password should not be reused. Like you are using your password for bank, you're using the same password on your phone, you're using the same password on every other thing that you're using.
Becomes easy.
That's a security vulnerability, right? And also don't create passwords using very, very common terms, like, or very common things that people know.
Of birth.
Like
many people fall victim because they use the year of birth.
They can be using ID numbers, they can be using phones. These are things that you'll find that or even you're using your children's name, your sibling's name, your spouse name. Such things are things that someone can easily guess, and you'll figure out that you get compromised. So those are things that you should now start seeing how best can you be able to avoid such activities.
So the first thing you say that make sure that you harden yourself by having a strong password and changing it frequently. How about looking at it this way? If you want to make yourself as a hard target, we had a guest here and we talked about the Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Shed a light on how you can be safe using Wi-Fi.
Okay. When we are looking at Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi, the security bit of Wi-Fi comes in different form. We always have the public Wi-Fi, and we can talk over private Wi-Fi. What is an example of a public Wi-Fi? an example of a public Wi-Fi. Maybe you're going to church, your church has a Wi-Fi. You're going to a library, your library, there is a Wi-Fi there that it's being used by the general public or your school or even at workplace or something, right? And then now there is that private Wi-Fi. It can be a home network. Maybe it's your Wi-Fi at home. So looking at it in these two perspectives, when you are in a public Wi-Fi, how is your phone receiving this information? Mostly we advise guys, if you don't know more of configuration, then avoid using public Wi-Fi because at some point maybe your gadget can expose a number of stuff, or maybe your laptop has a shared feature on whereby when you are in a public Wi-Fi it can expose a lot of things to the people that you are within your Wi-Fi. Look at your home Wi-Fi, because I know most of the guys here are using Wi-Fi at home.
The home fiber.
Yeah, they're using Wi-Fi at home. Your Wi-Fi at home, does it have a password? That's the very first thing. Can anyone just connect to your Wi-Fi? Some people will create a even more or complex layer of security whereby you will even require user ID and then now the password. There is some logging form that comes before you can be able to access the Wi-Fi. For those guys who can go deeper into the configuration site, they can be able to monitor the devices that are connected to their network.
So the person who is providing you, like let's say right now I go to my dwelling home and I'm logging in to the Wi-Fi. So somebody can be able to see whatever is going on in my phone simply because he or she has provided me with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's a possibility depending on now how you are connected to that Wi-Fi, your gadget, the phone device. You're using a phone and me and you are on the same network. First of all, you are being exposed because if I'm gonna scan this network, I'll see your device. And seeing your device, it's not like, Kingsley, you're using a particular phone, a particular brand of phone. There is some specific information that your phone exposed to the internet. Let's talk of something like an IP address. An IP address, maybe we have, I'll not go into detail because
IP is internet protocol.
The internet protocol, because of maybe touching, just you're trying to scratch the service, but you will see that there is more that an attacker can be able to do from just knowing your IP address. Also, just to note, so that I don't forget, in the part of whereby we were looking at some of the security features, just maybe one advice today for guys that now they are non-technical, right? Ask your ISP device, maybe they can limit the number of users who can be able to join your home Wi-Fi. Instead of, if maybe at home I'm having, like, we are 5 of us, right? I can only limit these devices to be the ones that they can be able to connect to the Wi-Fi. And for any other device to connect to this Wi-Fi, they need to verify. So you can always talk with your service provider, and this is something that they can be able to customize so that you can have it easy on your side. But now security is an advancing thing, so it keeps on changing, and it's something that you keep on doing. It's not something that you do once and then you are good.
You forget, it's never foolproof.
It's never foolproof.
So we've shed a light on the human error and how individuals can be susceptible to attack. Looking generally at the threat landscape with regard to Kenya as a nation and enterprises in Kenya, what would you say would be the ways in which the attackers can be either individuals or groups? How can they attack an enterprise, let's say a mall or supermarket, things like that? What are ways that you can say, using your experience, that they can be able to attack?
So looking at these enterprises you've mentioned, maybe let's look at Kenya as a nation. Kenya, I think we are way far in terms of technology. Even in terms of just education, you find that technology, the last government, I think, or introduced curriculum where students could learn things to do with computers, and even there were some computer gadgets that were being distributed so that just the kids can be aware. That's already the first step a nation is taking to ensure that guys are cyber aware. Maybe just to mention on some of the things that the government, or rather the nation as a whole, is doing to ensure that they keep themselves secure. Banks, these are financial institutions, government institution, big farms, and so on, and even small scale farm, they require security professional from the very beginning, because this is a certain entity that you are not going to avoid it. The only problem and things that we have always seen is that guys wait until something happens, before they can now consider having someone in place. Security, like for me, being a security analyst, this is a career that you work around the clock. It's something that when you get into, you'll be doing night shifts, you'll be working during the day, you'll be working during holidays and weekends. So it's something that guys need to be there to guide, to safeguard the entire ecosystem. Now, looking at ways in which attacks come in, how are attack coming in? We have been able to talk about the human as the weakest link. There is the aspect of now the human error. A lot of tricks are being done for the attackers to be able to just penetrate the network. So at these institutions, we are looking at in a sense that they are utilizing technology, looking at how have they been postured themselves. It's not even about now the cybersecurity as it is, dealing with the technological bit of it, but even the physical aspect. Now we are talking about the physical security. The physical security of an organization. How has it been structured? How has it been postured? Can someone just come in, get entrance into a certain organization, does his thing and leave? Are we having some guys in place? So attack happen in various ways, whereby you'll figure out that threat actors might target an employer from outside an organization. Maybe your neighbor is the target. Your neighbor can be now the attacker, and you are now, or rather your organization is the target. How is your neighbor going to affect you? A neighbor will start with maybe your home network. Your neighbor has your password. Can your neighbor get access to your machine? Does your machine that you work you go with it at work, what does it contain? Does the data in your machine, is it the data that contain work related things? Is this data that when get compromised, it's gonna affect the organization? So there is some things that we carry within our gadgets, and we need to be very cautious with where we are storing these things, where we are, who are handling, who are you sharing with. Maybe you are giving out your laptop, and it's the same laptop that you're working with, and it has most of the files that are very critical. An attacker might start from that particular point. An attacker will use different things. So this is where we have terms such as the malwares. We can have things such as the backdoors. So these are, or maybe you can talk of something like
or even targeted phishing.
And I was adding something that's known as a keylogger. A keylogger is a tool that will be able to collect all the keystrokes. When you talk of keystroke, if it's a phone, everything that I'm doing on my phone, like if I'm putting my password, it's like you're screen recording in a way. So it takes every input that you give your device, and then now it sends to an attacker. These things can easily be planted into your devices from outside work, and then when you go to work, the attacker can still now gain access. Now on the technological bit, there is some various aspect in terms of the network to ensure that these traffics, we're able to monitor them. That's now a SOC Analyst. We're able to filter out, seeing that this something is malicious coming in. These are some of the activities that we don't expect, right? And we can be able to safeguard it. But now, if these guys are not there, if these people are not employing, or rather they are not applying the security bit in their entire business, then they are falling victim of or they are likely to fall victim of an attack.
So we look at in general scale, what you're talking about here is the general aspect of enterprise security risk management. So many people tend to think that enterprise security risk management is enterprise risk management. Enterprise risk management actually is like the huge umbrella where the enterprise security risk management falls under. And this requires us to have input from all the way from all stakeholders, from the directors all the way to the person who is the least person in the organization. When I say least, I mean the threshold of authority that they possess. So those are the things that you've mentioned, and it's very true, because the information that we are talking about here, let's say, let me say, like, for example, I'm working at a hospital as a cleaner, for example, or I'm in a company that has been given a chance to work in a hospital to give cleaning services. We've seen in movies how people get into these spaces. Protection of information on a need-to-know basis becomes very hard if at all we do not have that inclusivity in the policy makings and the standards that you put in an enterprise. That is where people fall short. Where are these people supposed to be going? Because as a cleaner, you access virtually everywhere. Who is monitoring you? I'm not saying that they are the ones who do all these things, but if I'm an adversary, I can disguise myself to be part and parcel, or even apply to be working in that cleaning company, and come to you as a worker, and at the end of the day, I'm targeting a certain kind of information. Either from the internal aspect or just externally. So in security management, we talk about when you're doing your assessment, there's an outward in approach and an inward out approach. So you see, the cyberspace and the physical security space, they're kind of like the same. So for it to operate at its optimum, we require all these two aspects to come and align together and work cohesively, to ensure that at least you're not hardening yourself so much to avoid operational continuity. Because you cannot harden yourself to a level whereby you can't conduct business. Let's say you have you're a vendor, and people come and transact in your place. So because you had an incident earlier, and probably it was a cyber attack, then now you harden yourself to a point where you make it so hard for me, your client, to access you. So it beats the reason of putting that, which brings me to the question: what are the challenges that you face being a SOC analyst? What are the challenges? I'm sure it's a very challenging job.
Actually, it's a very challenging job. But being in the cybersecurity field is also a very interesting field. Because it never gets boring. This is a platform whereby you get not to interact with a lot of new things, because it's a learning platform, because every new day just trying to look at how attacks happen. At the same time, you also do some certain attacks just to ensure that you test the
penetration testing.
Just to test how resilient a system is, how resilient a network is prone to attacks. So it's something that is very interesting, but at the same time we'll have some challenges in one way or another. First of all, just the structure at which the work is demanding, you'll find it being a challenge, in a sense that sometimes we even miss that the social life.
Social aspect of yours.
Because you figure out that maybe you're not working on Monday, and Monday everyone is working. You're not working during the day, and everyone is working during the day, and you'll be working during the night when people are having fun, and you and like you see that social aspect of bit, of which this is not very important though in this topic here. Just looking at now the technical aspect of it, what's the challenge that you are gonna face? I feel it will be more of a challenge if someone, an attacker, comes in with techniques that you are not well equipped to handle. Think of it like someone coming in with the best weapons, someone coming in with full of muscles. This is someone that you are not the best fit for. But that will be a very big challenge to you.
Yeah.
But now, how are you gonna prepare for this? That's why preparedness is very necessary.
Exactly.
You're gonna prepare by ensuring that you learn each and every day. You make sure that you build muscles for the same. And it's a field whereby you can't say that you have to do it alone.
Yeah.
We have a wide group of security professionals that you can always engage, share ideas, exchange ways in which you guys handle things. That way you gain even more skills on how you can be able to handle a particular issue. And we always have attacks that come in new handy. So you need to be very quick to adapt to new systems. You need to be very quick to come up with your own systems that they can be able to conquer certain type of attack. They can be able to conquer a specific maybe attack pattern and so on.
So generally, what would you tell the youth out there, or those guys still in uni or high school? What can they do in order to become a SOC analyst like yourself?
Actually, a SOC analyst, this is someone that maybe it's good to have an IT background, because when you are working into security, not even necessarily now talking about the SOC analyst, but
the cyberspace in
you are
general.
just in the cyber, you are in cybersecurity, you at least need to have knowledge in different aspect of technology. Because if someone wants to be a programmer, you'll figure out that they mostly focus in programming. If someone wants to do graphics, they are focusing in graphics. If someone wants to do networking, they just focus in networking. Someone just wants to deal with the backend, maybe you want to focus with the database, you'll find there is someone focusing with the database. But now in security, and now especially SOC analyst, I need to at least have a rough knowledge of all these things, because I'm looking at many incidences. I'm looking incidents that are related with the database. I'm looking at incident related to the network. I'm looking at incident related to the cloud. I'm looking at incident related with the websites. Now the code, this code, are they having issues? So it's something that I need to review. It's something that I need to make sure that I have knowledge to be able to read code and understand it. So for anyone who wants to be a security analyst, maybe I'll just talk to them. Make sure, first of all, have passion. It's a very interesting thing. When you just now think of how technology works, how the technology looks like, it gives you an urge, and you'll be having passion on how to do it, because the passion is the only easiest way to learn. If you want to do something and enjoy it, have passion first. So be passionate about anything that you are doing, even if it's not IT. But now, if you are into IT, you are good to go. Learn various things as much as you can. Engage with peers. Try and find a professional in the industry just to get to learn what they do in detail, and that way you keep on gaining skills. Also, take certifications. There are so many free certifications out there. There are also paid certification. You are not doing them for the sake of just being certified, but ensure that the skill is key. Have the skills necessary, because you can have a certification and maybe you didn't get the right skills. So make sure you ensure that you have the key skills as you go on. And maybe you who didn't do IT related course, it's not late for you, because you can learn as many things as possible. It's not necessary that I was into IT up to maybe I have a degree in IT or I have a degree in IT related field for me to be able to run cybersecurity. And cybersecurity, in fact, it's very wide. There is now the aspect of the governance, risk and compliance, whereby you figure out it's not more of a technical bit whereby I'm now being the hacker.
It's more of management.
In FAIRS or something. So it's a very wide field. So for you who want to go to this, check it out. I'm sure I'll be having a lot of talk with you, Kingsley, and many others here right in Crimeshield, talking about cybersecurity. So we have a lot to exhaust. Cybersecurity is a very big field. We are not going to tackle everything now. We are not going to explore everything now. But make sure you follow us. And even if you have questions, maybe you have queries, just do them on the comment section. We'll be reviewing the comments, and we'll be reaching out if possible, just to be able to ensure that you get whatever necessary to keep you going. We'll be responding to your comments, and also you can reach us through social media platform. Checking me on LinkedIn, you can find me as Chenge Neville. on LinkedIn. There we can be able to engage even further professionally. Yeah, and a lot more. Mr.
What a way to end the show. There's
Yeah.
so much we are supposed to cover, but such little time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Neville will have this conversation from time to time just to engage our audience. And as Neville has rightly put it, it's important for you to put the comments down below at the comment section so that we are able to identify the key topics. Have you ever been susceptible or vulnerable to a point where you became a victim to these attacks? And what do you think, as those certified information systems security experts out there, what do you think we can do differently in order to make ourselves harder target? That wraps it up. Keep it Crimeshield. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Bye
Neville, for coming.
Thank you.